Okay. All right. Oh, don't fall off. Fighting with this thing all last night. Thing tipping down and falling on me.
At least you know what you're doing.
Had to keep moving around.
More than I know.
Well, same here.
All right,
I'm
let's see.
not good at any of that stuff.
It just takes a little bit of practice. It's not that hard. I'm going to share the stream to Facebook. And we'll get started here in a moment. Oh, Manny, Dan, Steve, where you at? There you are. Mm-hmm. All right, I tagged you guys. If you guys want to share that out on your page, you can also.
Okay.
Yep. What up, Manolo? What's up, my guy? Manolo's here. Cool. Nice. Oh. Last night the podcast went for I think 4 hours.
Holy cow! What did you guys talk about for 4 hours?
All we did was we went over the Garage Wars matches.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we had like 16 people on it once.
wow!
That was a blast.
That's crazy.
Those 24-hour things like Aussie does.
Oh, dude. There's no way I could do that. I could barely stay up for 24 hours, period, just hanging out, let alone actually doing this. Because this is not, something that is easily achieved, sitting in one position for hours on end.
Right.
It's
I
no
don't know how he does it. I've been a part of it both times he's done it, and it's insane.
Yeah. Roger Cunningham's here. Cunningham. PWL.
That's me.
Boom. Big dog. Roger, let us know, man, if you want to get in here. I'll send you the link. Or I'll have Steve send you the link or whatever. Okay. All right. We got 703 guys. I'm going to go through our supporters of the podcast here real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for joining myself, Daniel, and Steve. Manny will be along here in a little bit after he gets his kids in bed. But thanks, guys, for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Not a problem.
First off, I'd like to thank our sponsors and our supporters of the podcast. First off, let's thank our Zoom sponsor for this year, Marshall Thompson Trucking. We also want to thank our club sponsor, SCI Roofing Services. We thank them so much. Also, Grip Arm Sport, big help. We got a couple of shirts on right there. I forgot to wear mine. I'm ruining the mojo. So Grip Arm Sport, we thank them so much. Zach, he's doing a great job. He will actually be on a podcast here within the next week. So we're looking forward to that. Also, we want to thank Bill Connor and Morrow County Arm Wrestling League for his continued support of the podcast. Also, we want to thank Kiwanis Club of East Liverpool. Thank them so much for the continued support of our group and our events. Okay. So we're okay on that. Let's go ahead and get started. Steve, I wanted to ask you real quick, do you have anything new going on for Michigan State's?
All kinds of new good stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
We
Is
just
there, well, you don't have to divulge anything you don't want to, but you know, if you want to give up any new fun information for the event, more than welcome to.
some people have probably seen we did a soft launch with Grip Arm Sport a couple weeks ago
Yep.
with a special edition gorilla shirt.
Yeah, that thing is awesome.
And there's only gonna
Manny,
be,
what's up?
What's going on?
Hey, welcome to the show. Go ahead, Steve.
so there'll only be a select few of these out there, and there's only going to be a certain way to get them. I'm going to let Zach launch that portion of it here in another week or so, whenever he is ready to do that. And so that's super exciting. And then also yesterday, some people may have seen that we partnered with Strongest Badge event in St. Louis, where
Yeah, I saw that.
all of our champions for the gorilla classes will have free entry to that tournament in I believe it is July, maybe September.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
Great
So-
idea. I thought about stealing that idea and using it for other tournaments in our area or down around here.
Yeah, it should work out fairly well, right? It helps give people means to travel to an event and not have to pay entry fees and stuff. So and hopefully some of the Michigan guys or whoever wins it, the Gorillas this year can head over there later in the year, and then we'll take their champions. We'll be able to come to the 2024 Michigan State entry fee free.
Awesome. That's great. That was a great idea.
So
Who came up with that idea, huh?
Bill did. He shot me a message yesterday morning, and I said, "I'm on board. Let's do it."
Cool. That's great, dude.
Yeah. So
That's
it
really cool.
takes promoters working with each other to help grow, and
Yes, sir.
we're trying to do.
All
Yes,
about
sir.
the growth of the
Great.
sport.
Dan,
Yep.
are those world championship medallions behind you?
Yeah, there would be two of them.
Oh, snap.
There's about to be 4
There's going to be 4.
pretty soon.
Pretty soon in September.
Nice.
There's going to be a lot of hurting people that are 50 years old in Malaysia.
So let's go ahead and just, I know, Dan, this is the first time you've been on our podcast for East Ohio Arm Wrestling. If you could just give our viewers a little bit of background on your polling, how long you've been polling, where you got started and everything.
I got started in 2001. I started going to some tournaments, and eventually Scott Hazelwood and Robert Knack picked me up from the hit squad and started inviting me over for their practices. I went every Saturday for almost 2 years. Didn't win a match. And then I went to a tournament in Canada, Good Time Charlie's. And I entered left because Scott told me I was better left. And I'll be damned, I didn't beat Joey Costello at the time, ranked 5th in the world, and won the tournament.
Awesome.
I've just been doing it ever since. Now I've worked my way up to 36 state championships, 11 nationals, and 2 worlds.
Man,
I'm going to Worlds again in September.
what did you get yourself into, Manny? Oh my goodness.
Hey, I kind of asked for it. So,
Jeez.
He did. He did.
I mean, even before before I won the OGP belt, I called up Dan and told him that I didn't want the belt if somebody could take it from me. And at the time, he was ranked directly above me. And so I'm like, if I win the belt, I want to call you out for it. So,
It's a respectful thing to do. It's a respectable thing to do.
and then he was like, well, it was my belt to begin with anyway, so I don't have a problem taking it.
There you go. All right, Dan, go ahead and explain to everyone how your GoFundMe works and how they can help you out on that for you to get to Worlds.
I started to GoFundMe when I qualified because I knew it's going to be very hard for me to do that myself.
Yeah.
And it's on my Facebook. It's right on my wall. And if you go to GoFundMe, it's PWL Goes to Worlds. And you can make a donation right there on the site.
Awesome.
We also will be having a canister out for Dan's trip at Michigan State if anybody wants to donate directly there. That way GoFundMe doesn't take their little cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Set up a 50-50 even too. Shoot. That'll work out, man. That's what we did for Roger last year, didn't we?
Roger's fund was for his it was 100% went to Roger because of his house fire.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. Well, cool, man. Dan, I wish you all the best in your travels to Malaysia, right?
Yes.
Man, from the looks of it, you're going to do well.
I did well at nationals thanks to Steve Michiganers for sponsoring me.
Yep.
I went undefeated, qualified. Now I'm on my way.
Now, was there anybody that gave you any trouble at nationals?
No more than just attitude.
Oh.
You get one win on somebody, the next time they're at the table, they're growling, they're snarling, they're mad as hell.
Trying to get in your head a little bit.
They're trying, but then usually
if you get in Dan's head, you find out really quick that's not where you want to be.
No, there's a lot of mess.
Get me out of there.
Nice. Let's check out the chat. We got Roger in there. Manolo Poseo TV, he's there. Grip Arm Sport. Zach says, so excited for Michigan State. Awesome. Manolo Poseo TV says, is the match Pablo versus Todzilla going to happen at Michigan State's ?
How do they even know about that match?
No idea.
Wasn't me.
There's only
Seriously,
like
it wasn't
4
me.
people that know about that match.
Well, apparently somebody opened their lips.
That happens.
Wow. No, it's not happening.
Oh,
Would have been a great match.
It would have.
that would have been a killer match.
Wow.
What a bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer.
Manolo, spit it out. Who told you? Just joking. I don't want to get involved in that. But, well, things happen, So I'm sure you'll come up with another great match to happen, Steve. I know
Well, you couldn't get a better match than me and Dan. So, I mean, you'd have to have Todzilla and that match behind us or in front of us. Me and Dan would have to go.
So I posed a question to these two guys this morning, right? And you can't even get these guys to agree on who they're gonna or what arm they're gonna pull first.
No way.
I agreed with what I said.
You're doing what I said. I'm not giving them nothing.
Hey, Roger said, Roger's blaming Dave Shea. He said, #blame Dave.
Blame Dave.
Yeah, #blame Dave. Gravedigger, he's here. What's up, fellas? What's up?
Yeah, so let's hash this out. What are we doing? I need to set the schedule. Are we pulling
Yeah,
left
You
first or
guys
right?
might as well solidify it on the podcast.
Well, normally you pull all the left-handed matches first and then switch the table, so.
You start every tournament right-handed, you know this.
The main match is right hand.
So
That's
the
the
first,
main match.
first match is right-handed. The second match is left-handed. Was the plan? Because I wanted to put a match in between your guys' left and right.
Okay.
My thought process was left-handed first, then have the next match, and then have you guys go right-handed, which would then lead into the next right-handed match.
If Manny wants me all warmed up by the time he gets me right, go
All right, so Steve,
I
so
want the
let's
best, man. I want the best.
ahead.
let me understand this, Steve. So you got Manny and Dan left, right?
Yep.
And then you got Danielle and
right.
Dan. That's right.
Yep.
And then you're gonna put Manny and Dan up again, or are you gonna put Tim in there?
Yeah, so my plan was to stick Tim and Cole in between the match with the two matches with Dan and Manny.
Oh,
Makes sense.
so Danielle and Dan, are they gonna go last then?
First, they're gonna kick
Oh.
off the right.
Okay, so Danielle and Dan, and then Manny and Dan left, Tim and Cole, and then Dan and Manny last.
Yeah, so we just got to. Well, no, then Roger.
Yeah, then you have those tiny guys, Roger.
Oh,
and
I
Dave
forgot
Shea.
about that one. I don't know how I forgot about that. Holy moly.
Forget about the little people.
Yeah,
Then you-
it's just-
Roger and Dave.
And I heard rumor that Billy was going to ref that one.
Yeah, right. You want these guys to foul out again?
You had fun the first time, Billy.
Jeez. That's why they're doing it again. They don't want to foul out again.
Right, why
They
you
gotta
gonna
go
do
to
it
Michigan
this
so they don't get fouled out.
Well, we do got a little bit squishier of an elbow pad, right? So it
Oh
does
yeah,
give
yeah. That'll help for sure.
It'll
That'll
make
help
some
for sure.
difference. But that just might give them another inch to take another mile.
time. It'll definitely be an entertaining match.
It will be.
Hey, shout out Darren Bills, Big Hoss. He's in the chat. Dan versus Manny is awesome. Great guys and pullers.
Thank you.
He's also asking, how much is Cole Casper going to weigh for Tim Lewis match?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
he's like 54, 76 guy, right? I think he's coming in to pull the tournament as well. So
Holy moly!
yeah, I think he's stepping up a couple weight classes.
Yeah,
He's still-
I'm
he's
assuming
pulling
Tim's
54s?
probably like 205 would be my guess.
What's that?
I'm guessing Tim's probably around 205, maybe 210-ish.
Yeah, I saw him this weekend in that Derby City.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did tell me that yep. He mentioned that you guys did a great job down there.
He pulled the 220 class. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I've pulled in both, and I really wouldn't underestimate Cole.
Roger said Tim Talmadge owns you. So apparently Tim Talmadge is even more strict than I am. Is that what it is?
I don't possible. I haven't watched too much of his head reffing, right? The matches that I've seen with him, typically the down ref,
Oh, okay.
personally, right? But
So, Steve, how many people do you think we're going to have this year? Any idea? How many did we have last year, or you have last year?
519.
519, right? Yep.
Oh, I think we're gonna break that.
the goal
That makes
would be, so wishful thinking, right? And not expectation, wishful thinking. And this is purely, so Dave, I saw where Dave said he wasn't going to pull the tournament this year, right? After pulling Roger, which I was kind of disheartened about, right? Because that's one less entry in the tournament, right? But now that we've hit 500 a couple times now, the
Gotta
wish
go.
and the hope is going big, right? Let's do 6, right? Let's get 6.
Wow. Goal is 6, or the
I think there's a shot.
optimistic.
The goal is
optimistic
to
goals.
have a great tournament, right? That's the goal. The goal is to have a safe, flawless, grand tournament.
Yeah.
The hope is to have the largest tournament in the country on a consistent basis where people want to come pull. Right.
So Dan, you've been at a few nationals. I think you might have won a few. What is harder on average? Winning because I keep hearing from everybody that winning a Golden Gorilla is harder than winning a national event. Which one do you think is tougher to do? Seems how you pulled both.
I honestly think the Gorilla is a little tougher because of the number of entries. I may arm wrestle 8 times and win a nationals, where in my classes when I did win the Gorillas, there was up to 23 guys in my class.
Wow.
It's a lot more arm wrestling. It takes a lot more gas.
Yeah.
At 23 entries in one class, how many times does the winner have to pull in order to win?
Depends on if he loses his first match.
Just don't lose the match. Stay
Yeah.
on the inside. You arm wrestle less.
It's something like what, like 12 times or something like that, isn't it?
If you win every match, yeah.
Jeez.
Yep.
You get into one grinder, that really can put a damper on stuff.
Yeah, don't let that happen. Hit.
Yeah, hit hard and
Well,
hit fast, right?
That's easy to say to a defensive puller like myself.
Hey, you better get faster then, Manny.
Like I am a quintessential defensive puller. Any hit that I have is just to try and get position and then grind it after that.
Manny, it's called the hit squad.
I know. I
You got
got
the shirt.
wire me and Darren on it.
I have no idea. You guys are great guys.
Like, and the funny thing is, like, Darren's the guy that I met in the sport first. I think I found Michigan Arms. I put out a message, anybody in Oakland County. I didn't know anybody arm wrestle as a sport. Put out a message in Oakland County. Steve connected me with Darren. Darren's like, you can come over to my house, but you have to sign a waiver. So he didn't make me sign a waiver, but he was the first
That'll
person
make you
I met.
nervous. That'll make you nervous, I bet you. Oh, yeah.
No, it didn't make. I'm like, sign a waiver. I got this. He's never met
Okay.
me before. And then I see Darren, like, oh crap. So, but I learned to arm wrestle from him, so it's his fault. Like,
Hey, Steve, Roger said in the comments, Dave can't pull the tournament because his arm will belong to him after.
Oh shit.
Oh, snap. Here we go.
he has to have Roger for permission.
Ow.
His arm might be indisposed, apparently.
Uh-oh.
Well, we're going to find out, ain't we? We only got a month away.
Yeah.
Literally 1 month.
This Saturday.
Darren Bill says it's definitely my fault. Way to go, Darren. Please make this guy all slow and stuff.
But what he
All right.
taught me is if I get to my position, I can usually win.
Roger
That's
said
if I
he
get
will
to my
need to
position.
fill out a waiver. That's hilarious. Yeah, Steve, you gonna make the super match pullers fill out a waiver if they're not pulling the tournament?
Yes, everybody has
There you go.
to.
They better fill out that waiver.
Everybody has to fill out a waiver.
Smart man.
All right, cool. So we got the goal, is obviously to be better than last year, constantly strive for the best and the largest tournament in the country. And I think you're doing a great job at that, Steve, to be honest with you. I don't know of any other tournament besides Winter Blast that has eclipsed 500 entries.
Keystone State, they're right there, right there, 500 over the last couple of years, which they
Okay.
should. Location they're in, right? So that there's a lot of people in that area, right? So they should be. It's harder to get to Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, I think it was 20.
Well, you got to drive through Ohio, and it's so boring that there's
Yeah.
nothing to see.
And those
and-
Ohio people we have to deal with.
Oh, jeez.
You got,
You guys might not know this. But I was born in Detroit.
there you go.
I got 2 years,
You started
in Michigan whenever I was a youngster, and then we moved down to Ohio.
Best 2 years of your life, huh?
Yeah, I don't remember them.
Well, these just started out right.
All I remember was gunshots. I don't understand,
That's about it.
Yeah.
What? Were you, out
Darren,
in the woods hunting?
what's that?
Were you out in the woods hunting? Is that why you heard gunshots?
No. It was west side of Detroit, I do believe.
Nice area.
Yeah. Darren Bell said, at least he's strong, LOL. Thank God you got out of Detroit. Yeah. Thank you. I tell you what, I'm thankful every day for the opportunity that I had whenever I was youngster, for sure. But yeah, so anyway, so like we was just talking about, the goal is just to make the best tournament, continue with the legacy of the Gorilla and the excellence that Michigan State brings. So that's definitely you guys are definitely heading that direction for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's see who's able to show up. And I believe, my personal opinion is that the 2-scale system is going to tremendously help improve the weigh-in line, so that we can get that portion of it taken out. That means we can get brackets started sooner. That means we can get the super matches done. Then the kids will be up on stage, get the kids done, and then head into the tournament, right? And as always, we're not making the open class pullers sit around and wait for the novice guys.
Yep.
We'll be pulling at the same time. So
I kind of find that all the tournaments that I've been through in the last 2 years, tell you what, I really like when the pros or open class, they go first. I'm not saying that the amateurs don't put the hard work in, they do, but the pros are the ones that are cutting the most weight. They're the ones that have put in a ton of years and everything. I like seeing, personally, just my opinion, I like seeing the open class go first and the amateurs and then the novice after that. But that's just me.
I think it benefits the novice more going second or last, because they have a chance to stick around and watch the pros, maybe learn a little bit before they actually go arm wrestle.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Interesting thought. So I think we should get into the finer points and details of Dan's workout program, exactly what he's doing, exactly how he's doing it.
That is if he's willing to give it up.
Yeah, there's not going to be any videos on Facebook.
Dan, you mean you're not doing the backwards hammer curl?
No backwards hammer curls?
Yeah, the backwards sledgehammer.
No, there is a sledgehammer involved, but it's not that way.
How's your hand doing anyway, Manny?
It's doing a lot better. Like, I was cautiously optimistic going into that practice I set up. It was the first time that I really did anything with containment or supination or any kind of full on let's go. And so I eased it. The first person on the table is Paul Vertolka. So
Ugh.
I put my arm on the table and I looked at him. I said, slowly and easily. I know slowly and easily does not compute to Paul. But he did a pretty good job. But I was very surprised. I didn't really have pain in spots that I expected to. So I walked away from there going, all right. And my doctors and therapists, they said, as long as you don't have pain, you're not in danger of tearing anything or re-ripping it open or anything. So, but if you have pain, you need to stop. So I didn't really have pain. I'd have a twinge here and there, but, that was about it. And so I was able to, as soon as I left there, I'm like, all right, it's time to get to work. I mean, for the last couple months, all I see is on my Facebook feed pop up, Dan Blanchard is at the gym again. Son of a. Again.
Making sure I send you pictures.
Yeah.
He just sends you just a picture of the stack with the pin at the bottom. He's like, hey, bro, that's where you're going to be, the bottom.
He's got a couple poses.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So I keep seeing those and I can't do anything with my hand. And I'm like, I mean, it's the biggest match so far. And I mean, I've had quite a few matches. And this is definitely the biggest for me. So I feel pretty confident that I'm strong enough in more than one lane. But that's not everything that it takes with Dan. Like you have to be able to get to your lane. And more importantly, you have to stay out of his. That's a tough deal. It's a tough thing to do. He's made a career out of getting in his lane and keeping you out of yours. So it'll definitely be a chess match.
That's what it's all about.
We got Darren is in the chat. He said his whole family is polling this year, so there's 50 entries at least.
Yeah, he pre-registered, right? And he's like, this for my kid, this kid, my wife, myself.
Awesome. He said it's good for the novice guys to watch the pros. Yep. And
Good.
then he also said Dan's eating nails covered in diesel fuel every morning for breakfast. Man,
Not too
that's
much
got
sweet, 'cause I'm already too sweet.
oh nice. Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to this match. I keep, we've been talking about this for a couple months now.
Yeah, I mean, me
It's
and
gonna
man
be a good one.
for at least a year.
Yeah. But about that.
4 belts.
4 belts.
There's gonna be 4 belts on the line.
Jeez. I can't wait to see, whoever wins, how you guys are gonna hold the belts. Jeez.
Well, my goal is to at least bring these ones back home. So we'll see about the other 2.
What is that? Your guys' poster? Did you
Of
get
course,
that printed
it has
out?
to be my motivation on the wall.
You're supposed to be making me one of those.
You need to send me your address. I got to send it over.
I got you.
I don't want to give you motivation.
I just want it.
You need one of those refrigerators like Chris, his post yesterday with it right on his refrigerator.
Yeah, I saw that. Now my wife makes me keep this one in the garage with all my workout stuff. So
Yeah, apparently the living room would be a little techie.
yeah, living
Hey.
room, bedroom doesn't work. It's got to go in here.
He tried though. I guarantee you, man, he tried. He's like, hey, honey, what do you think about maybe taking the TV off the mantle here and maybe put this?
Oh yeah.
My arm wrestling table right in our dining room when we first moved in together.
Oh, I bet that
Really?
lasted about 3 hours.
Nope, it was a few years.
Really?
Really?
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Because Tom and Alan would come over, back then I was training with Tom Wilson and Alan Brigette all the time, and they were over to the house every week. That's when I had practice at my house back then, and guys were over there every week, so it had to stay in the dining room.
Yeah.
There
How
was
many
no
times did the wife say, "Can you guys do this somewhere else?"
take it outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
At
funny.
the Bills' house, there's probably one in the kitchen. They both have championship belts, so there's got to be one somewhere in prominent position there.
Yeah. So Dan, do you, I don't know if you want to or not. Do you want to maybe go over your workout regimen?
I do arm wrestling specific things every other day. On the opposite days, I go to the gym. And on Sundays, I do nothing.
Yeah.
Your body's got to have time to recoup.
Yeah.
I go to practices. I'll pick and choose one every other week, probably. You don't want to overtrain. You don't want to overstretch. A lot of guys go in too hard. They're out there training like Rocky Balboa, you know, and
Right.
when you get there after the first match, they're toast.
Yeah.
And then
You know, build it up.
yeah, shit. I'm getting warmed up
Yeah.
because I'm not killing myself and doing that. Just specific things that I do.
Now that leads me to believe that you're one of the pullers that has to, you know, usually warm up for a while, probably take about an hour worth of warm-ups just to get you you know, in fighting form.
And not really. I'll go through a slight warm up and I'll use my grippers, my forearm developers to warm up a little bit. And then once I get past that first match, I'm usually ready to go.
Okay. Yeah, for some odd reason, my warm-up period just takes forever.
Okay.
It's horrible. But
Mine
yeah,
should take
I only got
longer.
2.5 years in, so I'm way behind on the experience.
No, Dan's one of those guys like me. Like I like to go to an endurance match. But Dan's one of those guys that I might not want to take to an endurance match because usually after round 2, round 3, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm warmed up. I'm ready to go. Dan's kind of the same way. So the endurance thing might balance out in some way, shape, or form.
I'm sure it will.
Where other people, if I can just stop them or if I can gas them a little bit, then the more I can do that, the more I can start getting into my lanes and spots. It's probably not going to be the same strategy with Dan.
Yeah. Darren Bill said, I got an arm wrestling table in my living room at the
I
moment.
knew it.
He also said Blanchard normally wins a tournament within 8 seconds of table time because nobody slows him down.
That's probably true.
It's that whole hit thing, Manny.
Yeah.
Tell you what, not a lot of guys train that, you know, the fast twitch muscles, you know, it's all about slow pulling at practice because nobody wants to hurt for the rest of, you know, the week.
Yeah, very true.
I know I don't. Shoot. I save those fast twitch movements for the tournaments and then hurt after that. That's worth it.
Yeah, you practice right, you do right though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
See,
You pay
like,
the piper though, you know, if you don't
being a
do it.
defensive puller, like I'll practice the the fast twitch stuff, but I'm not hitting for a pin tap. I'm hitting to just get into my position. So I don't know, maybe that's something I should evolve in. So,
I
but
put that a little bit into my head.
Are
yeah,
you guys?
I'm just trying to make sure I get good position on go, and if I can get that, then I can start. And I remember when in my younger, I can't remember who I was going up against, but he was a fast puller, and I had to get to my spot early, and I beat him to my spot, and I stopped his first hit, and then I'm thinking, all right, now we're gonna do a slow grind, and he just kept hitting. I'm like, ah. So that was a lesson learned on that one.
Yeah,
But-
it doesn't end at one.
Yeah.
How do
I-
you guys think your setup's gonna go? Do you guys gonna load, no load? You guys gonna go straight to the ref's grip or strap or what? What do you think guys think's gonna happen?
Well, Dan's back pressure is ridiculous. So I'm expecting that I'm gonna have to deal with a ton of back pressure. I have pretty good side pressure in my load, but I'm gonna have to match his back pressure if I'm gonna engage any side pressure. So I don't think I'll match it, but as long as I can stalemate it. And if I can't, I'm just gonna tell the ref I can't match his back pressure. You're gonna have to hold us in the middle.
Yep.
So-
Who
But
do
his
you
back
guys
pressure-
think has the advantage in the straps?
I'm not really a strap puller, but I will go to the straps whenever somebody has height. Dan has height. So
Yeah. I think that would make me have more advantage in the straps, to be honest. And I feel like I'd probably have more of an advantage in a rest grip as well. So you better get your grip.
Deal.
They're just gonna sit there and go like this for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Sorry.
No more grabbing my fingers and pulling them down though, Dan. That won't happen.
I'm not gonna mess a whole lot with your fingers.
So what do
But
you guys
setup's
think
gonna
the
be,
goal
I
is?
try and set up the exact same way regardless of where I'm going. So I've worked pretty hard at that. So but somebody like Dan, he's a pretty savvy vet. He'll probably, hopefully he doesn't figure it out, but he probably will be able to tell in certain aspects of the setup. Most people can't, but
It
We'll
sounds
see if he
like
can.
it sounds like Dan has you know, the more of the bigger percentage of the win percentage here. What do you
Dave?
guys think? What do you guys think the final score is going to be from each of you? What do you think, Manny?
it's gonna be tough. I'll tell you this. My original game plan before hurting my hand, my original game plan is I set goals for myself on specific things that I had to hit, whether it was lifts or specific things on the table. The period that I'm in right now is now I'm having 5 weeks out. It's kind of like cramming for a test. And in the last couple days, I've had to stop any kind of real heavy stuff, because just like Dan, you can just overtrain. And so what I'm gonna have to focus on right now is not overtraining. And I'm not gonna be able to hit all the goals that I wanted to hit to pull Dan. Doesn't mean, it just means I'm gonna have to adjust the strategy a little bit. And I'm gonna have to be smart on where I put strength and where I put my time. But my perfect world would be, well, my perfect world, I'd beat him 3-0, but that's not gonna happen. So
Yeah,
if I
realistically,
win,
what do you
which
think?
I fully, that's what I'm coming for. 3-1, 3-2. It's kind of what I think realistically.
Okay, Dan, what do you think?
Oh, I would agree with my odds, right? 3-2, but in my favor. Because I don't think I'm just gonna shut him out. He's way too strong and he pays attention. And left, I think it's gonna be 3-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and pull a surprise out on left, but I've got an uphill battle on that one. I mean, he's ranked #1 in the state, for crying out loud, at 176 pounds.
Yeah.
Left hand
Overall, yeah.
overall, yeah.
Dan said, or Darren said that Dan's hand is bigger than his. It's really annoying.
Yes.
Well, thank
That's
you.
got to be a big hand, because I refed Darren up in Toledo, and he's got a big hand, real thick one too.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's ridiculous. It's
That thing
stupid.
looked like this. It just looked like this, like covered up everything. He didn't even put it towards the camera. He just held it up and it like covered up his chest.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Dan's hand's stupid. The other strategy I'm gonna have to do is, at some way, I'm gonna have to try and make it an arm game. Cause his hand is, his biggest weapon. But that's also not just easy to say, like, because it's not like Dan can't pull on a hook and Dan can't do an arm game. And you watch, things of Dan, like he's beating people like Chris Mowry in a hook. So it's not like he can't pull on a hook. It's not like if you get him in a hook, well, I just win. So there's certain top rollers that, like, if I sink a hook and I get him into a hook, it's going to be an easy day. Dan, I need to establish the hook. I think it's going to be key for me in this match, and I think I know what I'm going to have to do and where I'm going to have to put the strength to do that. But even if I get into a hook, it's not going to be a give me. I understand that. Like Dan, he's a savvy vet. Like he can pull in a lot of different positions. He's not one of the guys that just has a crazy hand and a weak arm. He's got both strong hand and strong arms. So
I've been trying to stay out of a hook for 20 years. I'm pretty good at running away from a hook.
yeah. But my point is, yeah, you can run away from a hook with the best of them, but if somebody sucks you in one, it's not like you can't pull in one. I've seen you beat numerous people in a hook. So
If I can't pull out of it, yeah. It's the last resort.
not that I'm watching video or anything, but I did just see you beat Chris Mowry in a hook.
Liar.
Manny's laying in his bed right before he goes to sleep. And he's laying there and his arms are getting tired because he's sitting there looking through film.
Yeah.
My wife was like, can we watch a video series or a movie or something? Do we have to watch this every night?
He looked over and said, homework, honey, homework.
Homework pays off.
Oh, nice. Tim just messaged me. I think he can get on. Manny, do you have a Cole on your Facebook?
Do I?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Send him the link. Copy
Okay.
the link, send it to him. See if he'll get on. I'm gonna send the link to Tim. I will be right back. Or I'll do this way. I wanted to get him and Cole in here, get their opinion on their match too.
Sent.
So while we got some dead air, Dan, you see those gorillas behind you. How many do you have?
That's what I was wondering.
I had 16.
Holy moly.
Good grief.
God,
I've given them away to friends and family. I kept 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze.
did you keep the plates from them, or did you give the plates away too?
No, I got all the plates.
Nice.
Did you say 16 of them?
16. Yeah.
Manny, you got how many? You got one that's not gold, not
Yeah,
silver.
It's not
or bronze.
gold.
Yeah. Well, the second place one I actually got years ago from Alan Burgett. But in the third place, I kind of meant to do that.
There you go.
I didn't have one.
Jeez.
I like the silver ones better myself.
I honestly think the silver ones look the best.
Yeah.
But it's not about luck.
All right, now Manny, why is it that you don't have a gold, a silver, or a bronze?
I'm only like 4 years into the sport. So I'm a young gun in the sport, climbing a ladder.
I'm right there. I'm only a year and a half to 2 years right behind you.
So if I can walk through Dan really easy without gas on my arm, I might have a shot on contending for a gorilla this year, depending on the turnout. But that's not gonna walking through Dan really easy is not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
So So the class gets whatever left of this thing when Dan's done with it.
Nice. So you're definitely pulling the tournament then.
I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna see. I mean, hopefully I have something left. If I'm like hurt or have nothing left at all, then I won't. But my plan is to pull. It's just I mean, I don't expect this match to be easy. I expect it to fight off a few mental demons and willpower through a few grinder spots. I think is gonna have to happen. So now I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, most definitely.
I wanted to get your guys' thoughts while I got you on here of the Danielle Evanson and Dan Savran match. Who do you guys think's going to win that one?
I mean, Dan the Beast Severn, I grew up watching him. I mean, he's a beast, but I don't know what his prowess is on the arm wrestling table. And I don't know, I mean, how old is Dan now?
I'm not sure.
64.
64?
Jeez.
So I'm not sure exactly what kind of shape. I mean, there's some 64-year-old guys who are just still jacked. So I'm not sure exactly what kind of shape he's in. It's a tough one
Just
to call. I mean,
right, keep in mind that it's an exhibition match.
yeah, so he's probably not really, I don't know. I was going to say he's not really training, but everybody's got an ego, but nobody wants to lose. So I mean, he's probably studying out some stuff. I think it comes down to, is his wrist naturally strong enough to hold off a top roll? And if it is, it's going to be him. My guess is she might beat him just because of, it's going to come down to, is the wrist strong enough? Probably.
Hey, I tell you what, I'm going to be so impressed if she jumps in there for that hook right away. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, yeah, let's do it.
I think I'll be rooting her on.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Either way, whether or not she goes in or out, I'm rooting her on.
Yeah, she's an arm wrestler. I mean, I'd arm wrestle Dan, but I'm damn sure not going to get in a cage with him. Respect everybody's abilities. You know, that's what he does. This is what we do. I'm rooting on Danielle.
Yeah.
I would agree.
What do you guys think the final score is going to be for the match?
I really don't know. Like, I really have no idea because I don't know Dan's ability on the table. Like,
I'm going to guess 3-2.
For Danielle? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to say this, everybody wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Everybody out of
So
this.
Steve doesn't want to make anybody upset.
No, honestly, though, right? Everybody wins on this. We have a UFC champion coming to the Michigan State Championships to support arm wrestling.
That's
and
awesome.
wanted to do more than just sign autographs. He wanted a match.
Really?
Awesome.
Yep.
Holy moly.
Yeah. He wanted to support more than just signing autographs. He wants to do some things with the kids. So, I mean, it's a win for the sport having him involved.
I can't wait to meet him, honestly.
same.
Darren Bills said Dan the Beast wins on old man strength alone. I'm writing that down. Check mark for Dan Severin, Darren Bills. Manny, you taking Danielle over Dan?
I would be cheering on Danielle, but like if I picked, like I'm gonna say I'm gonna be rooting for Danielle.
Oh yeah.
Just I mean, she's a girl going up against the Beast Severin, for crying out loud. So I'd be cheering on her. But if you to give an honest prediction, I don't have enough information to give an honest prediction. I would just be like flipping a coin. So I don't know.
He's
I don't know
in
what
the
kind of shape Dan's in, what he knows
He's in the
about arm
middle.
wrestling, how strong his wrist is, or hand or arm or anything.
Well, I could tell you that he knows a little bit about arm wrestling because he used to run around with in Blanchard. You may remember Larry Soulfield, right? So Larry Soulfield used to be, he's originally from New Jersey, and he lived in Michigan for quite a few years. And Dan used to run around with Larry quite a bit, so he knows a little bit about arm wrestling.
Okay.
I think Danielle's gonna crack his wrist every round.
Yeah, like when somebody
Paper,
just
it's
said
on film
3-2.
right there. Billy said it.
When somebody just said 3-2, like I would have to think like if that Dan's arm is probably stronger, probably, I'm guessing. So like if Dan's strong enough to take a round, I think he'd be strong enough to win it. So I think if Danielle wins, it's probably a 3-0 or 3-1 type of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I think if she lets somebody like Dan get to a lane of any kind, she probably would lose, I'm assuming.
Yep.
So
I think it's gonna go Danielle 3-0, top rolls every time, and then they're gonna do an exhibition 4th and 5th round where they go in the hook, and she's just gonna see what kind of power you got.
that would be kind of cool.
That's my prediction. I think that's what's gonna happen. At least that's what I want to see happen.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
But
I think
you
me
never
and
know, it
Dan
might
should do
stop.
that too. But
First
we should
round,
just
it
go
might
into the
stop.
hook in round 1 and 2 and see what happens.
Oh snap. He's trying to make a deal here, Dan. Trying to make a deal. What is this? Let's make a deal.
There ain't gonna be no deals.
Oh boy. He's not gonna let you in that hook. I have a feeling. You better run for it. You better run to it. He's gonna run away.
If you want it, you gotta take it.
Yeah. I do think my path to success with Dan is I have to establish a hook. It makes every one of my other lanes viable. If I can't establish a hook, I'm in big trouble.
Darren said Tim Lewis live from a dungeon.
I know.
I just have
It's just a
terrible
shadow
lighting
over
in
there.
this apartment. And I like tried to flip it around last night and then it worked. And as soon as it got dark, like, no, it didn't matter.
Have you had the power turned on yet?
Yeah. But it's cold this morning here a little bit.
Tim,
32 degrees.
I want you to say, I am Batman.
It's like he's a witness in a case and they're hiding his face.
Oh yeah.
Witness protection program.
Witness protection. That's hilarious.
What
Oh,
arm
man.
wrestlers piss off, Tim?
Did Cole answer you, Manny?
I didn't see anything come through, no. I
Oh,
was
that's-
checking.
Can
I
send
said
Cole
my top three.
the link.
I didn't get anything from him.
You didn't get nothing. Bummer. Tim, what's your
Nope.
thoughts on Dan and Manny's match? How do you think that's gonna go?
So is it best out of 5 or 3?
It's best 3 out of 5
And it's right arm,
and left.
both arms. And is there a weight cap?
176.
Okay. And you're about that, or are you about 165 right now, or?
I'm every bit of 176.
Okay. I mean, I pulled with your left. I know it's been a while, and I'm sure we both kind of made some improvements since then, but I mean, I'm definitely going to agree with what he said. I mean, he better get in a deep, deep hook because, your hand is very problematic to deal with. So, I think there's a slight chance, if he gets inside, but, you're a heavy favorite for sure, in my opinion. Now with the right arm, my right is, not very good, even before the injury, it wasn't very good, but, I think he might have a little bit better chance on the right than the left, maybe get a round or two. But I would still pick you as the favorite right-handed. So probably 3-0 left, and I'll say 3-1 on the right.
3-1 my favor, right, Tim?
Unfortunately not. I try to remain honest on these, like, you
I'm just
know,
kidding.
My bad, bro. My bad.
No, I'm just
Can't
kidding.
lie to you. Can't lie to you. What's your guys' how do you guys, all of you guys, how do you guys think Roger and Dave is going to go down this time?
Again, I think everybody wins.
That's going to be an entertaining.
Now, do we have any idea what Dave is weighing right now?
I thought he said 250-ish the other day.
Whew.
Wow. I mean,
I think that match is going to be really interesting. I think Dave's style is susceptible to a hook press, which Roger has. But Dave's style also can pull somebody out of a hook press. So I think that war is going to be won on go in the setup. Roger's very good in the setup, obviously. I think it's going to be won on go and in the setup, timing, setup, and who can control that center of the table faster. I think if Dave can pull Roger back just a little bit off center of the table, it'll be really tough for Roger to sink that hook, and I think win goes to Dave. But if Roger can control the center of the table with that hook press off go, then I think he's going to separate Dave from his arm. So I think it's going to be won in that center of the table. Whoever gets to the opponent's other side of the table loses.
Without fouling.
Yeah, without fouling.
and I think the other thing too is Dave needs to be smart and not let himself get worn out in the early rounds. If Roger is able to, get a wedge in, real tight, he's got to think, okay, like this is a 5-round super match. Maybe I can make an adjustment here, not go all in, necessarily on one early round. And I think if he does that, his chances go up significantly. I mean, I still think Roger is a very, 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 very slight favorite, but not by much. I mean, like I'll pick him 3-2, and I think it's going to be a war all the way around.
I'm going to say 3-2, Roger.
And does Dave get stage fright? Roger's been on that stage before, and Dave hasn't.
Yeah. And Roger's really good at getting in somebody's head. And the endurance factor probably goes there to Roger, I would assume. I think that Dave wins if Dave is just leaps and bounds stronger than Roger. I think other than that, if they're equal in any kind of capacity, I have to give a slight edge to Roger.
I really can't pick a winner, but I do agree with Manny. Whoever controls the center of the table from the go is probably going to win the match.
Yeah.
I
I think that's pretty much how the last one went down, minus the foul. I'm pretty sure that's how the last one went down. Whoever was faster and got to their spot.
without fouling.
Right, exactly. I
Yeah.
think there was only 2 pins the last one.
Yeah. There's a lot
So
of
Steve, I get 5 fouls and Dan gets 1, right?
yeah.
Steve,
Yeah,
make a
we're-
call. Make a call.
We're
We
okay.
don't have a signed contract. You guys can work that out, right? We can put it on paper.
Let's put that on paper, Dan. I get 5, you get 1.
That's
I have to negotiate that.
He starts with 5.
He gonna end up at 2.
And I'll take 7.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Going the wrong direction, Manning.
Now, Tim, I want to get to your match. Have you and Cole Casper polled before? I'm assuming you
We've
have.
never pulled in an actual ready. I mean, we played on a practice like
Okay.
How did this match come about, Tim? Because you guys contacted me, right? So how did this match come about?
So the whole match came about because the announcer from Wisconsin, Tim Smith, this was back in the fall. He really wanted me to come to his tournament. And that I had pulled him in a super match in Michigan. I'm sorry, I forget which local promoter it was. Maybe it was one of Cooper's or Manny's or one of those. And I beat him in a super match left-handed 3-0. And that kind of came about because he got a win on me at Michigan State's, the previous year. But, as we all know, and I'll admit myself, I don't think that I do my best in a tournament situation in general. I think I bring my best in best of 5 against one guy. So we did that. He wanted me to come to his Wisconsin event in February, and they wanted to get me a match, and they were throwing around some names. And his first obvious pick was Sam Tabor. Okay. And, me and Sam we've known each other for a while. And we've pooled before. I mean, it was a while ago. We had super matches at Minnesota State. And I think I beat him the first time, and then he kind of leveled up, and then he beat me after that. But the bottom line is, like, we've already pooled each other. So, I wasn't like, flat out like, no, I don't want to do this. But I'm like, I kind of want somebody that I've never pooled before, but I'll do it if you can't find nobody else. And then Sam was actually the one that kind of had the same vibe that I did, but we've kind of already pooled like a bunch in the past. And then he was the one that suggested Cole to Tim for me. Okay. Cole is always somebody that I've wanted to pool. But to be honest with you, the reason that I really have never really pursued it or called him out or whatever you want to call it was, Dustin Hyatt's dad was making a joke with me in Indiana, why are you calling out lightweights? And I'm like, well, I didn't call him out. This match was offered to me. But, I mean, yes, there is a weight gap there. I mean, I'm 205 right now. I think he was going to get up to 190 or something, but I think he's maybe walking around in the low 180s and kind of still pulls 176. But stylistically, I think it's a very good match. We both like to go deep inside in that hook and have good side pressure. So that's how it came about. And then obviously, I hurt my shoulder in January, had surgery in February, and, that was 2 weeks later. So we were like, okay, we still want to do this, but we got to postpone it for a couple months, until my right is healthy enough to grip the peg and move around, which it's been clearly for the last month, since I've been, active pulling left again.
Well, there you go. That's how it came to be.
So what's your prediction, Tim?
Well, I'm not going to pull a JD Fox and talk like that. I mean, I'm not going to take a match unless, I think I'm going to win. But put it this way, are we probably going to end up inside? Yes. But, I'm certainly not going to do what I did in Chicago and just assume that we're going to go inside because, the next thing I know, Eli Butcher busted my hand back, after he was hooking everybody else in the tournament. And, that was, a good move on his part. But, I did not give his top roll any credibility at all. And, is Cole primarily a top roller? No. But, I certainly will not dismiss the idea or the possibility that he might try to go outside at some point in the match. So I'm going to be ready for everything. But, I hope that, win or lose, that we get a couple battles inside and see what happens.
Cool. Now, Tim, I wanted to ask you this before, and it just never came up in our conversations. Have you started your dedicated training for your left hand?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, how long are you deep into that training?
It's about 5 or 6 weeks. Like Paul Lynn wrote some stuff down for me and like sent me some videos, and I've been incorporating a lot of that stuff into my regular gym routine. Now, I don't have a lot of the handles and stuff. Like I just have what they have in the commercial gym, but I've been making that work. And, my containment has definitely been getting better noticeably, from that.
Good. Good. That's really awesome. So that's just, gonna make it just a slightly bit harder for Cole to get through those fingers.
How'd you feel Saturday, Tim?
Well, I mean, I won the class, but me and Cody pull a lot together. So it's just, we know each other's arm a lot. So, I have a lot of respect for Cody, but, I just think at least right now, like I kind of have him figured out, how to stop him. And, he kind of went into a high hook, maybe should have pulled a little bit different at a different angle. The other win that I got in the tournament that wasn't against Cody, was, probably like a lower level pro. The other really good guy in there was Landon Anderson from Tennessee. And as it turned out, we never got to pool because, I pulled Cody first. I beat Cody. No, I'm sorry. Cody pulled Landon first, beat Landon. Landon went on the B side. And then I pulled Cody, beat Cody. I was on the A side. And then they were down to 3. So Cody took Landon out before we ever got to pool. So I ended up pulling Cody twice.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I mean, as good as it is to win the class and, winning that, whatever it was, $170 compared to $60 for second was nice. I would rather go back and get a chance to pull Landon because that's what I want. I don't want to be Cody Smith. I mean, I consider him to be a training partner. You know what I mean? So I was hoping that I was going to get to pull Landon because he has a conflicting style than I do. He goes for my fingers and is very problematic for me.
Well, there you go. Future super match opportunities.
We're thinking about it. He's only, I think he's still 17. Like, he can't really
That
drive.
Saturday, only 17.
Landon.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, this is not your typical. I mean, this guy has wins on nationally ranked dudes. Adam Wisniewski. I'm not pronouncing that right. I'm sorry. Roby Russell. That other guy from Tennessee that's been pulling for 10, 15, Taggart. He's flashed Mark Taggart. He's beaten Austin Jaggers. I mean, I don't need to say anymore. Like, the dude's legit.
That whole little team right there is, right?
No one on that team is weak. I mean, even their newer guys. I've been to some of those practices. It's the 54s are like, okay, Kevin Palco might be here, but they're all right here. Every single one of them. They go to every tournament, they get set. I mean, Brad Spine was the only one that beat those guys. That was it. They blew through everybody else, And there were a lot of people in that 54. It was not easy. It was us, the Doherty's brothers, Justin and Stephen Doherty. I think they're only 17, 19, or something like that. It's insane.
Let's catch up on the chat here real quick, guys. Darren Bill's for Roger and Dave. He's saying Roger 3-0. Roger's obviously taking himself 3-0. Bill Connor, he's in the chat. He said, "What's up?" Darren Bill said that Dave is 400 pounds.
He gained weight fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Darren also said, "I saw Dave buy a large shirt, so you know he's bigger." He also said Roger felt stronger than ever in the wrist when he pulled him last week. He's ready. Bill Connor's taking Dave 3-2. Redline Arm Wrestling is in the chat, said, "What's up, guys?" And the Drew 24, he's here. He said also, Evan, the beer man, is on live also, but we don't care. No,
Yeah, we're way better.
way better. That's why you're here, Drew. Thanks for showing up, brother. Thanks for showing up. So, yeah, it looks like this is gonna work out really good for everyone. You know, these matches are, I think, gonna be really close. Especially Roger and Dave. I think that one's gonna come down to the wire again. I do believe. But like you said, Steve, I mean, everybody wins.
Yeah, that's what I'm my mantra for this year is going to be is everybody wins.
Yep. Now you said I think you said last time the Gorillas were already en route to the Kellogg Arena, right?
No, they're being born right now. They're due to ship out the 22nd, and they'll ship directly to Kellogg.
Gotcha.
I have a few spares and stuff just in case anything happens with shipping and handling. So hopefully not. But plates.
It must take them so long to make those. I mean, those awards are like so crafted, you know?
Yeah.
That's probably an 8-month lead time, maybe.
Yeah, so it's about 6, right? So I start talking to them about 6 months out, and depends on sometimes like if back when George, who's from Michigan, he used to work out east a lot, doing upholstery, like movie theater upholstery and stuff like that. So he would pick the stuff up for me. He doesn't work out east anymore, so now I'm having to have it shipped the last couple of years. And
I mean, what state do they come from?
Pennsylvania.
It's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Who do we
Where's
know
that
that
in
lives in Pennsylvania?
I tell you, I went around.
Well, I didn't ask that. I just asked what state it came from.
I have a trailer. I priced it all out on me driving there, picking them up and putting them in my trailer,
Yeah.
or renting a U-Haul and packing them all in, like flying up there and driving back, and it still can't.
If Tim Lewis wasn't in a witness protection program, you might be able to have him do it.
Well, what did Darren say earlier? Darren had a good little thing for him. He said, Tim, quote, Bane Lewis, born in the dark. He was born in it.
That's
He
good.
just merely adopted the dark. Let's see here. Redline Arm Wrestling, Mike Williamson. Steve, he's got a question. How many entries in the Masters last year?
Total in the Masters, I would say probably 30-ish. Probably 30-ish. The Masters are probably the smaller classes that we have. This year we did add a 154 Masters.
So how many Masters classes are there?
Yeah, we're running 54, 76, 98s, 220s, and 242s, I believe, and 242 and above.
And what's the age for that?
40 and over.
Oh, it is. Well, next year for me.
Yeah, I got a year and a half. That's it.
I remember when I was old enough to in the Masters.
The first year it might be exciting, and then you're like,
The older guys, those tendons and joints, those are a whole lot more developed than the younger guys.
Yeah, I pulled in it last year myself, right? Which was asinine, right? Because of everything that's going on in the with the tournament and everything. But I pulled it, and I had to pull Mike West like first round.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
it's like you're not getting no easy.
Masters is not any
matches
easier. No.
You know?
No, especially at Michigan State. You know, at maybe at one of my tournaments or something like that, Masters might be easier. Yeah, but not at Michigan State. Guarantee you that.
Every class is tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Wasn't there like double digits in the 43s last year? It's like
That 43 class has been turning out.
I don't know another event in the country, literally, that gets the turnout in that class that you do.
Because really
And I've
nobody
been
else
almost everywhere. I've never seen even nationals, it's crazy. Like
I hadn't been running it, right? We were at 54s up until probably 2017,
so
28.
did people ask for it?
So somebody asked for it in like 2018ish or so. And I said, well, if I can get somebody to help sponsor. So I got somebody that sponsored the right-handed class, and then I sponsored the left-handed class and threw them both in there. And I said, if it does well, we'll keep it. And those guys have been turning out.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of lightweights.
And I believe
I hope Lawrence Bell goes and competes in that class.
I do. He will. I do
So I
believe.
don't I don't know if Dylan's coming back this year. I know he
Barnes.
had a baby and stuff, but I don't know if he's coming back. But I know some guys from the South that are going to come up and pull in that class.
In
Hell,
the chat, guys, Jason Robinette, he's here. He said, hi, I'm here for the Darren Bills comments. And Darren come back and said, Jay, I'm being nice because it's all my friends on here. He also said, gonna need a smaller class soon. Elijah Ekstrom is only 137 pounds.
Yeah, jeez. Can only imagine, like, if Elijah puts on like 10 to 15, even 20 pounds, oh my goodness.
He's
Kids.
gonna be insane.
Oh, good grief. Like,
First year I pulled Michigan State, they ran a 132 class. I think it was at 132 that year.
I don't see anybody of that weight beating him. I just don't.
I'm gonna have to look this person up because I'm unfamiliar with Elijah.
Oh, you don't know who Elijah is? Elijah and his brother.
Elijah Ekstrom, or that Elijah.
Yeah.
Elijah and Jared Ekstrom, they're both pound for pound, probably the strongest, some of the strongest arm wrestlers in Michigan, hands down. They're young phenoms, nice kids too. Well, besides Elijah.
Very
Yeah.
humble, very respectful.
They're stupid, crazy strong. I remember the first time I gripped up with Elijah, I'm like, well, his hand's not that big. My hand's bigger than his. I'm like, oh goodness, but it's strong. Good grief. And he just keeps getting stronger. Like I used to be able to kind of like be defensive with him, and now I better be on my game, otherwise he's going to take advantage.
Good. I mean, that means he knows what to do then, right?
Yeah, he's currently number 1 at 154, right, Dan?
I think so, yeah.
Roger said Elijah is the future. Great kid.
The kid comes out of practice. He's like a sponge. He listens to every word you tell him.
Do you think he might have something for Kevin in 5 years?
Once he
If
puts
he
on,
could put that kind of weight, if he could put on that kind of weight, I would think so.
he would have to put on a little bit of weight. But yeah, I think so, definitely.
Wow. This kid must be really, really strong then. He probably beat me. Shoot.
He's shockingly strong.
Yeah.
Like you can hear that he's strong, and then you can hear it all day, and then you can grip up with him and go, holy crap,
moly.
I did not expect this.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody have anything else as far as Michigan State goes?
I got one thing that I didn't mention earlier, right? So we're talking about all these great matches that are going to happen and the excitement around that. And we signed the deal this week with Tim Mouthy announcing to be back at Michigan to announce all of these great matches and to
Whoa.
help,
He does a good job.
help drive that excitement, right?
Awesome.
And then I'm sorry if I didn't get this from you. Probably posted it somewhere. What do you have a videographer coming? Brad 217 is coming.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm just glad we narrowed down that Dan gets 1 foul, I get 10 fouls, and we're starting the 2 first matches in the hook.
It's going up, doesn't it?
That's how addition works, Dan.
Oh.
He identifies his addition as that.
I mean, I might be hitting multiplication at this point, but it's going the right direction.
When we get there.
Jeez. Well, if anybody else doesn't have anything else, I appreciate your guys' time.
I need to make a shout out.
Yeah.
To all Cadillac Converters for sponsoring me and Mandy's match, and Grip Arm Sports and Cooper Danger Production.
Awesome. We definitely thank them for their continued support in our community.
My personal sponsor, Stigma Tattoos.
Awesome. Nice.
And Stiggy's giving $500 tattoo away again this year.
Phew.
He's done that quite a few times.
Yep.
He's a
Darren Bill said, master negotiation by Manny.
Just glad we ironed it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We ironed
right.
out there's going to be a subtraction when we get there.
Nice.
We're gonna
All right,
go
guys,
over
I appreciate your time. You guys are wonderful people. Thank you for being on the show. Dan, it was a pleasure meeting you finally, and I hope to see you whenever we get there. And hopefully we're not too busy to stop and have a small conversation.
Absolutely.
Guys,
See everybody
appreciate
in
it.
a month.
What's that?
See everybody in a month.
Oh yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you know, we
close.
could probably do another podcast right before states. Maybe the week before. Do a final run through.
Yeah, I still got to get with Dan. I haven't talked to him about coming back on. So hopefully I can get it ironed out.
Yep. All right, guys. You guys have
Thanks,
a
Billy.
wonderful
Appreciate
day.
it.
Yep. You guys have a
Steve,
great night,
Dan.
and God bless you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you.